4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
Dan, when he leaves, he leaves. It was right into the sun, babe, right into the sun. Actually, like Tom said, there's a lot of people who did a good job, and I tell you, these vehicles so far, that little Snoopy was a real winner.
We concur.
That big Charlie Brown is no slouch either.
The next day, Apollo 10 stayed in orbit around the moon. The orbital deviations of Apollo 10 were being determined with greater and greater precision. On board, there was more photography, more landmark tracking and navigation. With each revolution, the figures were being pinned down closer and closer in preparation for the arrival of Apollo 11.
Joe, Jack Smith, there's some very interesting looking things that sort of look like volcanoes. There's one on the backside that if it was in a different setting, you could call it Mount Fujiyama.
I saw.
But now it was time to head home to Earth. Trans-Earth injection. The one burn of the mission that absolutely had to work. The burn that would push Apollo 10 out of its lunar orbit.
Everything looks good for TEI.
Roger, we'll go here, and we'll see on the way home.
Again, this most critical of all maneuvers would take place behind the moon, cut off from earthly contact.
Roger, Houston, we are returning to the Earth. Over.
Glad to have you on the way back home, 10.
For the last time, Apollo 10 watched the sapphire called Earth rise over a stark lunar horizon. And as they had throughout the mission, Stafford, Young, and Cernan shared with us the sights and feelings of their voyage through color television.
You guys are really hauling the mail out of there.
Oh, you better believe it. It's like we're climbing straight out, Joe. It's a fantastic sight. It's like we were shot straight out from the center of the moon.
You're going about 6,000 feet a second.
As the crew of Apollo 10 hurtled earthward, they decided to perform one more test. A test not in the original objectives of the mission, but a test that would solve a problem that had baffled space engineers for years.
Somebody finally came up with the idea of using a razor and brushless shaving cream.
That's amazing, 10. Absolutely. That's what the space age does for you.
I tell you, Charlie, that's one of the most refreshing things that's happened in the last couple of days. That was really great.
You guys really look good.
Down from the moon toward the coast of Earth, Apollo 10 sped on its incandescent path toward its dawn rendezvous at sea. Problems had been met, faced, and solved, for that was the mission of Apollo 10, to sort out the unknowns and pave the way. But as the men of Apollo 10 were reunited with their families and friends, attention was already turning elsewhere. Apollo 11 had been rolled out to its launch pad even before Apollo 10 had entered orbit about the moon. Now it stood, pointed toward a distant lunar sea.
How much we're going to progress in the future is left to your imagination. But if we harness our energies and keep our perspectives right, the goals are unlimited.